everybody, this is dkdynamite, and today what I have for you guys is some gameplay of the brand new game mode within Black Ops 3 known as Fracture. So right when the Descent map pack dropped last week, so did this brand new game mode into multiplayer. So when I first hopped in to a match of Fracture, my first impressions were pretty positive. I honestly feel like this mode is a hybrid between Kill Confirmed and Hardpoint, just being honest with you. And the official description for this game mode is this: pick up core files dropped by fallen enemies and deliver them to the Fracture site. Depositing the core files earns score for your team. The first team to reach the score limit, or the team with the most deposited files at the end of the time limit, wins the match. So, to be honest with you, the only issue I had with this game mode was the fact that the matches were way too short. The score limit used to be 60, but at the time of uploading this video, the score limit is now 75. So it's not a lot, not a big difference now, but 15 extra deposits could increase the match length by, I would say, at least a minute and a half, depending on the type of team that you have. But again, when I was playing with randoms and we were up by 30 to 40 deposits, I was trying to tell them over the mic to not deposit any more tags if possible, and a lot of them didn't listen. But luckily, when I did get some friends online and we had a small party going, we had a little strategy going to the point where we could increase the match by at least 2 extra minutes by not depositing that many tags, especially when we had a huge lead over the enemy team. But I definitely hope you guys are enjoying the gameplay in the background. I managed to drop a lot of my streaks here on Fracture, including the Wraith, the Raps, the GI unit, so on and so forth. So I included a lot of gameplay from multiple matches that I played here in the new game mode, just to show you guys some of the best clips and kills that I've gotten so far. But another thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that this game mode has a lot of similarities to a mode that was somewhat scrapped within Call of Duty Ghost. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there was a game mode called Grind. Now, unfortunately, Grind was only available on the private and local match playlist, which meant that you can only play the mode with bots. So Infinity Ward never released a statement as to why Grind was never released into the public match playlist, but the mode itself operated in the exact same fashion as Fracture. You had to pick up tags off the ground and bring those tags to an objective point, which occasionally moved throughout the map. So again, essentially a hybrid between Kill Confirmed and Hardpoint. So I would have hoped that that mode would have made its way towards the public match playlist, but it never did. So hopefully Infinity Ward has learned their lesson with the mistakes they made within Ghost, and hopefully they incorporate modes like that within Infinite Warfare. But we essentially have Grind 2.0 here within Black Ops 3, which I'm very happy with. So yes, the score limit of Fracture has been increased to 75 deposits versus the original 60, but I still feel like the score limit should be 100 deposits. Now the reason I say that is for multiple reasons. First up, when you make a huge deposit with, let's say, 8 to 9 tags, on top of getting a shit ton of kills, you're going to be dropping some badass streaks. We're talking haters, Raps, GI units, motherships, etc. Now, when your teammates are also dropping a lot of kills and making huge deposits, they're going to be getting a lot of badass streaks as well. So we're talking multiple haters, multiple Wraiths, multiple sets of Raps, you name it. So why not have the matches last just a little bit longer? Just a little bit longer, so you can drop an extra 20 to 30 kills depending on the streaks that you have and depending on the type of kills that you're getting with your weapon. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of all of that down below in the comments section. I understand that they don't want to make the mode too long, but I see a lot of potential with this game mode. I see this mode playing very well with the competitive players throughout the Call of Duty fan base. We're talking Call of Duty tournaments, the Call of Duty championships, so on and so forth. I just see a lot of competitive players enjoying the adrenaline rush that you get when you make a huge deposit here in Fracture. So I just hope that they give this mode a shot one day, maybe at the Call of Duty championships, maybe in the next Call of Duty if this mode is brought back. We'll just have to wait and see. But last but not least, one more thing I wanted to bring up was the reason why we don't have a lot of new game modes here within Black Ops 3. So if you guys remember, back in Black Ops 2, there was a new game mode introduced called One Flag Capture the Flag. Now, that game mode was only available for a limited amount of time. So unfortunately, when that game mode went away, I was actually expecting Treyarch to release another new game mode maybe a few weeks later, even if it was for a limited amount of time, but they never did. So my assumption was that they were too busy working on DLC 4 and their next Call of Duty game, Black Ops 3. So at that point, I just waited for the next Call of Duty game and completely forgot about new game modes altogether. So here we have Black Ops 3, 3 years later, and we don't have any new game modes aside from Fracture. And we're in the middle of July, so there's no saying if we're going to get any other new game modes in the near future, but since we're in the middle of July, I would assume we will maybe get one more game mode by end of August, near the release of DLC 4. That's just my assumption. But since we're in the middle of July, I began to wonder, why don't we have any new game modes in Black Ops 3 if Treyarch had the benefit of the 3-year development cycle? They've had an additional year to develop and plan out new game modes for multiplayer, maybe even zombies. Why don't we have new game modes? Recently, David Vonderhaar was asked that exact question, and he specifically said the reason why they haven't added in new game modes is to prevent splitting up the player base here within Black Ops 3. So I'm not a developer, but I do understand what he's saying. They don't want to add in 3 to 4 new game modes to the point where everybody's specifically playing those game modes instead of TDM, Domination, Capture the Flag, so on and so forth. So they want to have an even player base on all the game modes. I really get that. So they essentially took a risk with Fracture in sort of splitting up the player base by a small percentage. I really get that. But to me, it's still not a good enough reason. It's still not. I feel like adding in new game modes to Black Ops 3 will only benefit the game itself. To me, even if the player base isn't even, it's still going to be a pretty fun player base. Adding in new game modes, to me, adds just a new sense of enjoyment to the game itself. You're going to bring back players who may already be bored with your game, and you're going to bring back players who may have quit your game because of that very reason. Lack of game modes. That's just my opinion. Fracture is an incredibly fun game mode, and as I said earlier, has a lot of potential to possibly be included within the competitive side of Call of Duty as well. I just really enjoyed recording some new footage for you guys and bringing you something new here on my channel, and I will of course be uploading a lot more Fracture in the next couple of weeks as well, but also stay tuned for a shit ton of Descent DLC coverage. I have a lot of videos covering the brand new multiplayer maps. I also have a lot of coverage for Garad Krovi, as well as my usual episodes of Zombies, Tips, and Tutorials covering everything there is to know on the brand new zombie map. This has been dkdynamite. Peace.
CDP proud. We kicked some serious ass, guys.